Hi guys, it's Crystal here from ChristaCoDesign. Today we're learning how to knit 2x2 ribbing, and I will demonstrate how to do it both in the round and flat. For this tutorial I'm using worsted weight yarn and 5.5mm knitting needles. For working it flat you can use straight needles of course, and if you're working it in the round you'll need circulars. Our stitch multiple is 4, so you can add or subtract 4 stitches to adjust the stitch count. For this first part, we are knitting the 2x2 rib flat. We're going to start by casting on a stitch multiple of 4. So I'm going to use the long tail cast on. You can use any cast on you like for this. If you want to practice along, I am doing 16 stitches. Okay, once we cast on, we turn and we'll start row 1. We're going to knit the first 2 stitches. So I'll insert my needle into the front leg, yarn over, pull that up and through, slide that off. I've knit 1. That's just my yarn tail there. Then I'll repeat that in the second stitch, making another knit. I have 2 knits to start the row. Now it's time to do my 2 purls. So I move the yarn in front, purl 1, slide it off, purl the second, slide it off. You can see my purls here and my knits here. And continue the pattern, 2 knits, 2 purls. Our last 2 stitches are purls. And then we're ready to turn our work. Okay, so our row 2, we're looking at 2 knits. We're going to start with a knit 2. And then we're looking at 2 purls, so we're going to purl 2. And you just knit the knits and purl the purls. We're stacking the knits on knits and the purls on purls. The great thing about the 2x2 rib in the stitch multiple of 4 is it's just a 1 row repeat. So now you just repeat that 1 row, knit 2, purl 2 for the height of your ribbing. Next up, I'm going to show you how to knit this rib in the round and how to bind off in pattern. Okay, to bind off in pattern for 2x2 rib, we are going to knit the first one, knit the second one, and then bind off the first. Next we have 2 purls, so we're going to purl 1, and we're going to bind off. I just pull up this loop a little bit loosely when binding off stretchy ribbing. Purl again because we have a purl, bind off loosely. Now we're looking at 2 columns of knits, so we knit one and bind off. We just keep knitting or purling based on what we would do if we were to continue the 2x2 rib pattern, and then we're using the basic bind off there. Okay, we're binding off our last stitch here, and then we're just going to pull up a long loop and cut our yarn, and then we can weave in our ends. And there you have it, stretchy 2x2 rib. Okay, to get started with our pattern, we're going to start by casting on. Here I'm using the long tail cast on. Once you've cast on all your stitches, we're going to get set up with our magic loop and join in the round. Cast on a stitch multiple of 4 to work the 2x2 rib in the round as well. Here, since I'm working magic loop, I'm going to cast on quite a few stitches. Once all our stitches are cast on, we're going to slide them to the center of our cable. Find the halfway point, the middle of your stitches, and pull the cable out between those 2 stitches. Hold on to your stitches and your cables and slide them down toward your needle tips. Keep hold of the cable like this and it won't twist, and you can be sure your stitches are not twisted either. Now we'll just slide our stitches up onto our needles. Once our stitches are on the needles, we're going to turn them so that the needle with our working yarn coming off of it is in our right hand. That's our yarn tail there and our working yarn there. Okay, now we are in our setup position. So we're going to pull our right needle out so that we can use it. We need to give ourselves a little bit of cable there to be able to use it. So here, now we're just going to join to work in the round by working our first stitch on the left needle as a knit stitch. And now we've joined into a circle here. We're knitting a second stitch, purl the next, purl the following. And that is our stitch pattern. 2 knits followed by 2 purls. Keep repeating that around. When I get to the end here where my stitches are divided by the cable, I will show you how to navigate that part of the magic loop. Okay, so I drop that left needle that I'm holding. Make sure my stitches aren't going to slide off my right one. And then I'm pulling that needle back through to reset my stitches on the ends of both tips here. Working yarn still coming from the right needle. Pull that needle up and out so that we can use it. and then continue our stitch pattern, knit 2, purl 2. Now we're at our last 2 stitches there. Drop that left needle and then reset our needles by pulling the cable through. And we are set up to continue knitting. Okay, working yarn is coming from our right needle. I'm going to pull that needle out and get set up to continue knitting around. First 2 stitches are knits, so I knit the first one, knit the second one, to add my stitch marker after the second stitch in this pattern. Next I'll be looking at 2 purls, so I'm going to work 2 purls. Knitting the knits and purling the purls. Knit 2, purl 2. So you're stacking your knit and purl stitches throughout. When you work 2 by 2 ribbon the round, it's the same repeat each round. Okay, so now you just repeat the 1 round, knit 2, purl 2. Here I've worked up several inches for you so you can see how nicely the rib stitch looks. It makes a great beanie, and I'll link that pattern up for you as well.